friends. It was good to see you yesterday. You had a lot of energy. Well, today I want to talk to you about what we're doing for the week. We're still talking about the ocean, and the book we're going to read is Commotion in the Ocean. There's a lot of rhyming words in there, so we're going to see if we can find those. But before we start, I was wondering how you guys did with your painting, with your watercolors. My daughter made this one for me so we could see how it looked. And she said, guess what color I used the most of? And she said, blue. Why do you think she used a lot of blue? I see an ocean with a lot of blue. Maybe that's it. There's a dolphin and a sandcastle. And there's some little chairs and an umbrella. It must be for people sitting at the beach. That's awfully big a sandcastle. And look, they have a sea star and a horseshoe crab, and I don't know what that is. I think it's a beach ball. Anyway, I'd like you to put your pictures on Dojo so we can see your paintings. In our bag this week, I noticed that we had a fish. And you use it the same way you do your butterfly. Do you remember this stick that came with the point on it? So you could color. So you can make a real pretty fish. You can bring that next Monday and show us your work. Tuesday, I mean. Next Tuesday. When we go to Zoom. In your bag last week, you had some math with the shells and you did small, medium, and large. Well, this week, in your bag, you had some stars. And those stars were for counting. And you have this whole book of numbers from 1 all the way up to number 20. And this is how you can use it. See how many circles there are, and look at the number 1. And there's the word 1. And in each circle, you're going to take a star from your stickers and put it in the circle. And then you're going to take your marker and color in the same number of squares. On this page, it's 1. Now on this page, the number is 2. So I put a star in each circle, 1, 2, and then I colored 2 squares with my marker. So you do the whole book like that. You should have enough stars to do all your math. Another math thing that was in our bag this week is this paper here. And this is all about patterns. Now, patterns are when you have 2 things that are the same and then you keep putting them next to each other. First you put, on this one for laundry, a shirt, then a sock, then a shirt, then a sock. That's an A, B pattern. That's when you can do math with your family. You can do it with anything. You can do it with forks and knives or spoons and napkins. Whatever you have, you can make patterns around the house and keep up your math skills. So you can show your mom and dad how you do your patterns with anything you have at the house, as long as it's okay with them. And if you get really good at patterns, this pattern, you can make this pattern, which is an AABC. Boy, that's an interesting pattern. So see what kind of patterns you can come up with. So you can use math anytime that you have things in your house. You don't have to wait to go to school. Now for your reading in your words, we have a collage this week. And you're going to use this big blue paper and your glue stick. And you're going to cut out the animals from the book and the words. And you're going to glue them together on a paper. I started mine. I have the whale and the crab, and see the words that go with it. So that's another project for the week. And the last thing, we got a bag of pieces of foam. And I asked you guys, what is it? And I was looking and looking. There's a little paper in here that tells you how to make something out of this. And I looked at it, and this looks like a boat. And this looks like a sail. So you can take your boat, put your sail together, and put it on your boat and see if it floats. And there's some activities in here of what to do with your boat. And you can use your markers to color the sails, and you can color the boat, and you make your own special boat. So next week, I want you to bring your boat to circle. You did a really good job bringing your books to circle this past time. So this time, I want you to bring your boat that you finish, and you can make it as pretty and as beautiful as you want. And I also, at the end of reading the book, I remember telling you guys that we're going to have show and tell. Everyone's going to have a turn. So bring your favorite toy to Zoom next Tuesday, and we're going to have you can tell us all about your favorite toy. So bring something that you really, really like and you want to tell your friends about. Okay, well, let's start our book. It was a very long book, so I'm going to read, each page is like a poem. So we're going to read one at a time. So this would be one poem. Okay? Now listen for the words that rhyme. It's a little harder to find the rhymes in this book. Like the one last week was a lot easier. This is called Commotion in the Ocean. So read your title. Commotion in the Ocean. Now, it says here, it's by Giles Andre and David Wojcicki. Sean, you get my glasses? I have to get my glasses. Thank you. All right. Here's some bubbles. What do bubbles tell you in the water? Somebody's breathing air underwater. So there's some animals or something down here breathing out the air, and then they got to go back up to the top to get some air. So there's a lot of bubbles. So let's see who makes the bubbles. Commotion in the ocean. There's a curious commotion at the bottom of the ocean. Commotion, ocean. Do you hear the rhyme? I think we ought to go and take a look. You'll find every sort of creature that lives beneath the sea swimming through the pages of this book. There are dolphins, whales, and penguins. There are jellyfish and sharks. There's the turtle and the big white polar bear. But now you see behind the wrecks and in between the rocks. Let's take a look and find out who's hiding there. So there's somebody hiding here and there and there. Let's find out who they are. All right, the first one is crab. The crab likes walking sideways, and I think the reason why is to make himself look sneaky and pretend that he's a spy. Why? Spy. Those two rhyme. Now, there's the crab. The next one is turtles. Turtles. We crawl up the beach from the water to bury our eggs on dry land. We lay a whole batch, and then when they hatch, they scamper about in the sand. This says pitter patter, pitter patter. So they lay their eggs, and then when they hatch, they go back to the water. Oh, my favorite. Dolphins, and they say squeak, squeak, click, click, whistle, click. The wonderful thing about dolphins is hearing them trying to speak. It's not how do you do, as I say to you. It's more of a click, whistle, squeak. Who's next? Oh, angelfish. Very pretty fish. Hello, I'm the angelfish darling, the prettiest thing in the sea. What a shame there are no other creatures as gorgeous and lovely as me. Oh, here's a jellyfish. He was jiggling yesterday. I had a hard time. Okay, stop. Jiggle. Jiggle, jiggle. Jellyfish. The jellyfish just loves to jiggle, which other fish think is quite dumb. She knows that it's not all that useful, but jiggling's lots of fun. Oh, here comes the shark. Shark. I swim with a grin out to greet you. See how my jaws open wide. Why don't you come a little bit closer and take a look inside? I think he's trying to trick the fish to come inside his mouth. Swordfish. I love to chase other small fishes. It keeps me from getting too bored. And then when I start feeling hungry, I skewer a few on my sword. Octopus. This says tickle, tickle. Having 8 arms. Oh, they have 8 arms like spiders have 8 legs. You may think having 8 arms can be useful. You might think it looks a bit funny, but it helps me hold all my children and tickle them on the tummy. Funny and tummy rhyme in that one. Here comes the stingray. That says bzz, bzz. At the bottom of the ocean, the stingray flaps his wings, but don't you get too close to him. His tail really stings. Oh, lobster. Oh, I got a lobster in my bag. Never shake a lobster's hands. It's not a wise thing to do. With a clippity-clap and a snippity-snap, he would snip your fingers in too. Snippity-snap, clippity-clap. If you see lobsters in the supermarket, they put rubber bands on their claws so they can't snap people. It's true. You don't want to get snapped by a lobster. Ooh, these are the interesting ones. Called deep sea. They live way on the bottom of the ocean where there's no light, so that some of them have special parts of their bodies that glow. Miles below, deep sea. Miles below the surface, where the water's dark and deep, live the most amazing creatures that you could ever meet. There are fish of all descriptions, of every shape and size. Some have giant pointy teeth and have great big bulging eyes. They have to have big eyes because it's hard to see in the dark. Some of them can walk around and balance on their fins, and the strangest fish of all have glowing whiskers on their chins. Oh. So that these things glow. Oh, here comes the biggest animal in the world, the blue whale. There's no other beast on the planet as big as a giant blue whale. He measures a massive 100 feet long from his head to the tip of his tail. That says whoosh. That's the water coming out of his spout. Oh, if you saw the Baby Beluga song on the dojo, there's a part where Baby Beluga spurts water out of his spout too. Walruses. Our bodies are covered with blubber. Our tusks are incredibly long. Those are tusks. We're grumpy and proud, and we bellow out loud to show that we're mighty and strong. I can't do a walrus that well, but that's what it looks like. Here come the penguins. Penguins. We waddle around on our icebergs, which make our feet slither and slide, and when we get too close to the water, we leap with a splash off the side. They love to play in the water. This says, wee, splish, splash, splosh. And here are the polar bears. They like it where it's cold. See the ice? So do the penguins. Deep out in the Arctic, the mommy polar bear snuggles up with all her children since it's very cold out there. Oh, we're coming to the end of the book, the last poem. A poem is something that rhymes sometimes. It doesn't always rhyme, but it's not like a story. It's a little different. What a lot of creatures we have seen beneath the sea. What a lot of funny things they do. Some of them might lick their lips and eat you in one bite, and some might want to swim around with you. The dolphin's very friendly and the lobster's very fierce, but the shark is the most dangerous by far. Can you name the other friends we've made along the way? See if you can tell me who they are. Let's see, there's angelfish, jellyfish, swordfish, dolphin, blue whale, shark, octopus, lobster. I don't see the polar bear or the penguins, but they're not underwater. And that is the end of the story. The end.